The Haley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on bulls.co.za.
Wellness-wise with Steve Peralta. How's it, Steve?
How's it, Nicole? Good.
Good. So we're going to chat about a topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to be chatting about women and dieting.
Yes,
Oh, one of my
indeed.
favorite topics ever. And so go ahead.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So obviously the term dieting is quite a popular term for a lot of women.
Yes.
And normally it's to try and achieve weight loss. So I'm just going to be chatting about why that's not the ideal thing to do if you are wanting to achieve weight loss. In other words, why women shouldn't diet.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So firstly, I'll start with the technical stuff and then I'll get onto just the generalization. So women have an abundance of enzymes called lipogenic enzymes. And those are enzymes which store fat in your cells.
Darn
So
those
women
enzymes.
start with that already. Okay, and guys have more lipolytic, which are enzymes which release fat from the cells. Okay, so that's where you starting point.
Okay.
Now, when you diet, so in other words, when I'm talking about diet, I'm talking about restricting your calories, etc. When
Like a crash diet.
yeah, that kind of stuff especially.
Okay.
What happens then is your body actually starts producing, well, women especially, more lipogenic enzymes, which are your fat-storing cells. Okay. Now, the reason they start storing more is because, if you look at it from an evolutionary perspective, from a survival perspective, if you're not eating, your body thinks you're in a time of famine. So what it does, it starts to create more of these enzymes to store fat for energy because it thinks, there's no more food around. And women especially needed energy and need energy to look after children and so on. So it's a survival mechanism.
Okay.
And that's what women need to bear in mind when they go on diets and crash diets and don't eat for X amount of hours. Also, these days, there's a popular eating approach called intermittent fasting, or IF. It's quite a trendy protocol at the moment. And that's where you won't eat for, say, 16 hours. In other words, you eat your dinner at, say, 8 o'clock or whatever it is, or 6 o'clock, and then you don't eat until 16 hours later. So you'll sleep, and you say you'll eat at about 10 or 12 or whatever, depending on your dinner time.
Okay.
So that works for men. It works really well. It helps improve their health. It helps with body fat loss, all that kind of stuff. But for women, it has the opposite effect. And so people need to know this. And so don't do it, essentially. Women need to eat small, regular meals. That whole 6 meals a day kind of thing.
Correct.
That applies to women. It works well for women. Have a breakfast when you wake up, ideally with protein, and then you want to snack or have small meals throughout the day. You don't want to go for longer than 4 hours without eating.
Yes.
That's a good approach for women.
And I think your body gets used to something like that because I try and do that and so that your metabolism can
it
work
stays
faster.
revved up. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's various factors to take into consideration, but for women, that seems to be the best approach. So definitely don't diet. It's also to do with estrogen. The more estrogen you have, the more lipogenic enzymes you have. So also, if women go on HRT therapy or, the pill, all that kind of stuff, you'll increase estrogen and therefore your lipogenic enzymes, and then often that weight gain comes as well. But just to bear in mind, don't go on diets. It's definitely not the way to do it. You want to obviously eat good quality food, balanced meals, protein, fat, good carbohydrates, and eat at sort of fairly regular intervals. Don't go for longer than 4 hours. Yeah. And that's the way that you will stay at a decent body weight. That's different for everyone. You don't all have to be super skinny or whatever, but to stay healthy and for a body weight that works ultimately for you, you want to follow that approach.
Okay. And then, do you know what? Something completely off the subject, but
Sure.
this is what I ask a lot of people. And for me, it's such a big problem. I crave badly. So what I'll do is I'll have my breakfast, oats and a little bit of protein, and I eat about every 2 or 3 hours because that's just what my body's used to. And then by the afternoon, if I haven't, it's probably because I haven't had a decent lunch, then I start craving a chocolate or sweets, or I've got a very sweet tooth.
Exactly.
So is that just from the meal before, or?
It can be both. It can be from, what that's signaling is that your blood sugar levels have crashed.
Okay.
So that's either you haven't eaten soon enough, which I don't think is in your case, or else your meal wasn't balanced.
I see.
You want to try and get a good balance of protein, fat, and carbs. If not, your body will be trying to balance it, but generally through quick fixes, so sugar and so on.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah.
Scary.
The Haley O Show. Every Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Only on bulls.co.za.